What is up, guys? Welcome to the Shopify beginner tutorial. So this is going to be a tutorial on how to set up a fully functional Shopify store ready to make sales in under an hour. If you are looking for a video on actually how to do product research, how to find the best niches, right, how to find home run products to actually sell on Shopify, then take a look at the video in the description. It's going over a lot more of the product research side. This video is going to be devoted to actually setting up your store for a complete beginner. So we are going to do it completely from scratch, starting right now. So what we're going to do first is go to shopify.com, and then we're going to enter our email address. And then where we put your store name. So this, if you're going to actually buy a domain from Shopify, is not the biggest deal. This is going to be your my Shopify store name. But just for clarity, we're just gonna make it what we want to call our store anyway. So let's see if Golf Samurai is available. Looks like it is. So we're going to use golf for our example, and we're going to get a completely set up store from scratch, ready to go to sell some real golf products. And I chose golf just, for very summated because there's a lot of small items that are available for sale. It has an incredibly passionate user base. It's a little bit harder to find some golf products, and they have, small and cheap items that you can ship out to a passionate audience, a lot of which have discretionary income, as golf is a slightly more expensive habit and sport. So I sell with a different system, right? You want to choose I sell with a different system, just because, it's not a huge deal here, but you want them to kind of take you seriously. And so I usually say, because I actually am selling on Amazon for $1 million plus per year, I just put this. I generally recommend people to do the same, just because, I don't know if it's just me or if Shopify prioritizes people who are already doing more money because they think that they have more chance of, getting paid by these people for longer with the customer service. So I generally recommend, people to put these options here. And so we're going to go to next. So I'm going to fill this out quickly. Right now I'm in Sydney, Australia, which is why it's pre-populating this. And so I filled this out really quick just so you guys don't have to sit here and watch me do it. But obviously you'd want to make this kind of your real billing address. It just makes things easier along the way. So we're going to go to create my store. And after it stops loading, it's going to start up our store creation. And so we see Golf Samurai here. We see welcome to Shopify Kevin. Here's some tips to get you started. And we are going to walk through kind of what's important in these menus and how to actually kind of go about setting things up. So the first thing that we want to do is jump into online store. And so when we jump into online store, it's going to give us the debut theme. And so the theme is kind of how the general look and feel of your Shopify website. It's very important to have kind of a nice theme. And the one that I recommend personally is actually one of the free ones. So if we come down in here into explore free themes, and we're in the online store themes section, we go to Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is one of my favorites. It's very beautiful. I prefer the classic model. It has a mobile optimized dynamic display, meaning that it actually will dynamically resize pictures for different browser sizes, and it's lightning fast on mobile. And as 60% of traffic nowadays comes from your mobile phone, it's obviously incredibly important to have a mobile optimized website, especially one that loads quickly on a mobile phone, on 4G or LTE or 3G even, if we're talking about particular places in the world. So we're going to go to add Brooklyn here. And now Shopify is going to do a ton of the work for us. It's going to add the Brooklyn theme to our actual store. And once it actually finishes adding the Brooklyn theme to our store, but now we actually have to apply it to our default theme. So now we see Brooklyn here. We're going to go to actions, and we're going to go to publish. Are you sure you want to publish Brooklyn as your live theme? This will replace your current theme, debut. Yes. So we're going to click publish here. And now we have the Brooklyn theme set up on our store. Let's take a quick look at it just to kind of see what it looks like, familiarize yourself with it, just to kind of, get a general feel. And so you're not, overwhelmed when it comes to actually applying changes to it and things like that. So right now it gives us kind of a default logo here. This would be replaced by your logo. This is our hero banner. So our hero banner is kind of the images. Normally there's like a slideshow between two. And so we're going to grab a couple images right now, and we're going to actually add them. Where I like to grab images is from a website called Unsplash. So we're going to go to golf here. Excuse me, and we see 110 free golf pictures. You want to make sure that you use things that don't have copyrights, and so Unsplash is kind of the best way that I've found to get really beautiful imagery without having to worry about particular copyrights and things like that. And so we're just going to grab two of these quickly, and I'm just going to download these. You can just go to download free here. We're going to download both of these. And once we have these, it's very easy to actually go in and set this up. But before we actually add these images to our theme, there's two things that I like to do. So one thing that's incredibly important, guys, for you to understand is that if a website takes longer than a few seconds to load, people are going to abandon it. And the reason that people's websites load slowly is because they don't optimize the actual size of the images that they use in their website, and that is what takes the longest to load. And so we're going to grab these two images that we just downloaded from Unsplash. We're going to come to tinypng.com. Excuse me. And so we're going to upload these. And what TinyPNG does is it actually takes, larger PNGs or JPEGs, I believe, and compresses them into, it optimizes the size of the image for quality and file size. And so this is going to make your website load so much faster, which gives you such a higher percentage to actually complete the sale. And so once it actually finishes compressing here, we're going to download these images, and then we're going to do one final thing by renaming them something related to our golf niche, just for a slight kind of improvement for our SEO or our search engine optimization. So now that they're finished, we see that it went from 4.8 megabytes to 1.4 megabytes, or a 71% reduction in the actual file size. So every image I use, guys, I do this, and it makes your website load so much faster, which really makes a huge difference. And so now I have these two files that are the smaller ones. So I'm just for organizational sake, I'm going to throw away the old ones, and I'm going to name this Golf Samurai header image. And then I'm going to take this same name, and I'm going to name this one Golf Samurai header image 1. So now that I have these two, all this does, guys, is it helps with your Google search rank. And it's not a huge deal because most of the traffic that we're going to be driving is paid traffic anyways, and SEO is kind of a long, drawn-out process that I've never seen a huge increase in my sales from. It's always been really focused on Instagram influencers and partnering with YouTubers and a lot of Facebook ads and Instagram ads and things like that, but that is for another video. We are just setting up our store right now, and so what we're going to do is we're going to come back into our Brooklyn theme where we were before, and if we go to slideshow here, we see that this first slide is actually this slide right here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select an image, and we're going to upload it, and we're going to use the Golf Samurai header, first one that we did, and voila. So we're gonna go to select here, and that is it. And so we added that first image. Then again, if we wanted to add the second image, we just come into slideshow and do the exact same thing here with adding the second image here. And that is how you add your home image to your Shopify store. So the next thing that we would want to do is we'd come into the slideshow here for our main picture, and we want to change this to something else. So we'd want to say, the place for golf's finest, or something like that. And then we'd want the hero banner to say something like, the world's best golf products. And so if you want to change the button text, you can say save now. If you want it to be shop now, I think people are used to seeing shop now, so I'll just leave it as shop now. And that is how you update this. If you want this to be, just one line, if you think it looks better, you can just say the best golf products or the best golfers. And so it's only one line. It's really up to you guys what you want to do as far as how you want your store to look. I'm just trying to teach you how to do it in like a very condensed way to really get something set up and have a real live, fully functional e-commerce business in under an hour. And so as we can see here in the theme, it kind of goes from top to bottom. So this is our sidebar menu. It's kind of like the first thing, and then the header, right, which is what we see here, our header. And then our header up here. And then what we see next is our slideshow. And then, the next section down right here is the rich text. So it's all kind of in sequential order here. When you click each thing, it comes up. So it's incredibly easy, guys. This is where we have our collection. So this is where our product collections would be. Maybe this would be like men's golf polos, and this would be female or golf polos, and this could be, maybe golf accessories or, putters or something like that. And then it has a featured collection if you want to, more prominently kind of show off specific things. And then maybe, if you wanted this featured collection appearing before the collection list, all you do, guys, is you literally drag it above, and it changes dynamically the themes. And so if you've ever made your own e-commerce site, not on Shopify, it's incredibly easy what they've actually kind of allowed people to be able to do in an incredibly short amount of time. And so that is the theme, guys, and we go so much more in depth, obviously, in the course, we have a free course. We have other Shopify videos, obviously, on our channel. But I just wanted to kind of give a main intro into how to kind of manipulate the theme. We're going to come in here one more time when we actually do go to add our products. But before we do that, I do want to add a logo. And so this is kind of the default logo that they give us. And if you guys don't have a logo, just go over to Fiverr.com, go into logo design. What I like to do here is just go to best selling. And then I'll just choose one, that is a reasonable price and has a lot of reviews. So this guy's $10. He has 1,000 plus 4.9 out of 5 stars. So obviously he's doing a good job. Whichever one that I like the best. I generally pay, between $5 and $30 for a very well designed logo. And I generally ask for it in both black and white. Just because you never really know what you're going to finalize as far as your, the background of your products here. And so what we're going to do then is we're going to actually add our logo. And so I had one made prior to this video just so we could have something here. Maybe it's not the best logo in the world, but, I like it, and that's what counts. And so we're going to save that. So now we have our logo. We have our main header image in our slideshow. We have our hero text set up. We have our button set up. And so things are starting to kind of come together. So the next thing that I want to talk about is your menus. And so if you guys are getting confused, or you want some motivation or kind of some ideas of what you actually want to create your menu structures as, I suggest using people's sites who are proven to be incredibly popular. So ColourPop is one of the most popular Shopify stores, and if you haven't, I teach you exactly how to find the biggest and most popular, highest trafficked stores in the world in my product research Shopify video. So if you're interested, make sure you watch that after we watch this video, of course, and it will teach you exactly how to do that. But ColourPop is one of the most kind of popular sites anywhere. And so we are going to actually model our announcement bar and things like that after what they've done. And so this is called the announcement bar. And so we're just literally going to do exactly what they're doing right now. We're just going to do free global shipping over $50 for everything. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to set that up. Don't worry. I like these being capitals just as a personal thing. And so here we go. Free global shipping over 50. And so we're going to go ahead and save that. And now what we're going to do is we want to edit these. And so what do we have here? So if we look here, we see shop and new arrivals, best sellers. So we're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to do shop and best sellers for our menu structure. And how we do that is in the settings menu, and we're in the header again, right, with the announcement bar and the menus right here. And so what we're going to do is we are going to press edit menu. And so when we edit the menu here, we see what we saw before was the home and catalog. And just to show you guys again, we see the home and catalog. And so what we're going to change this to is shop. And we're going to call this one best sellers. And we can talk about, how to actually make these main menus link to what you want. Like, for example, if you had a collection that you wanted to be your best sellers, all we'd do is we'd come in here and we'd go to collections. And we haven't made the collection yet, but we could make a collection called best sellers, and then we could add products to it. And so we're going to do that later on. Don't worry. I'm going to show you every single step, from a very introductory perspective of how to do this. And so we changed it to shop and best sellers here. We're going to press save menu. And now when we actually preview our store, we see that it's changed to shop and bestsellers. So now this is starting to look pretty good. And I think you guys are probably excited if you're following along, because it's really exciting kind of seeing these things come to life in such a short time without requiring any type of coding knowledge or anything like that. And being able to set up a fully functioning e-commerce store in such a short amount of time is really a truly exciting thing. So I hope you guys are getting excited yourselves. I get excited when I do this. And so let's take a final look at the theme settings here. So if we come back and we go to sections, so we talked about how they're organized sequentially here, like in sections, the header. We talk about the rich text, the feature collections. But one last thing I wanted to talk about is the overall general settings. So obviously we can manipulate anything we want here very, very easily. So if we wanted to change the headings, if we wanted to change the body text, maybe we wanted to change the button label to red, or if we wanted to change anything that we want here, we can basically change. And if we save it, it's going to dynamically update, which is super easy and super simple, and it just works great. So if we want to change the text, maybe we don't like the text that we're using and we want our headings to be a different text, we could go ahead and do that, and we see them change. if we want to make it bigger, smaller, under 9 in thickness, they really give you just a ridiculous amount of kind of customization, all extremely easily. The cart page here, this is something that I always recommend people to actually change. And the reason for that is drawer cart pages don't load on all browsers. So if you want to, make sure that your cart is going to load and look correct on all different types of phone sizes, all different types of computers, all different types of operating systems and things like that, what we're going to do is we're going to change drawer to page. And this way, our cart actually loads as its own page, and you can actually do some fun stuff when we talk about some advanced Facebook marketing, when we're only targeting people who visited certain pages, but excluding people who have not visited certain pages. So for example, maybe we wanted to target people who got to our cart page, but never actually saw our thank you page, meaning that they almost bought, but then they didn't quite do it. And so we could create a retargeting campaign of all of the people who almost purchased from us, but didn't, just reminding them, hey, we're Golf Samurai, we sell a bunch of fun stuff, come back and actually buy it, you were super close. And so we're not going to talk about the advanced marketing stuff. Obviously we go super in depth in that in the Shopify Ninja Masterclass, but we are going to go ahead and save this right here. And then we're going to go back really quick. And this is the social media page. And so what this does, for example, is, maybe you set up a Golf Samurai Facebook page. It's super easy to set up a Facebook page. If you haven't, you can just Google search Facebook, how to set up a Facebook page if you don't know, or just go to facebook.com/pages. And so when we actually add this in here, we do see it actually pop up here. Maybe we're going to add our Twitter page that doesn't actually exist yet, but /Golf Samurai. And then when we add that, we're going to see it populate right here. Super, super easy, guys. And so we're going to save that. Obviously, I just copy and pasted this one because it's right here. This is not, my Facebook page. This would have to say Golf Samurai after I made it. And so we do all that for all the ones that we want to added. I generally recommend for Shopify to have at least a Facebook page and an Instagram. Instagram is such an amazing tool for selling specific types of products like fashion and makeup and cosmetics and things like that, right? It's really important to know the demographic of the actual social media sites that you are using to drive traffic, and Instagram obviously is great for that specific thing. So we're going to save, and we're going to go back. The favicon is this little thing right here. So this is the Shopify favicon, obviously. Again, if you want to have your own little, Golf Ninja favicon, you could have one created. And Fiverr is a great way to do that. You can just go to favicon, and there's going to be a ton of people who actually create favicons for you. And again, I always do sort by best selling. It just saves a lot of time and energy having to find people that aren't as high quality as some others. So this guy will actually make your brand identity logo and favicon for $5. So 665 5-star reviews for $5 for both of those is pretty insane. Okay, so we're going back here. That's the favicon. The checkout page, I generally leave this the same. You don't want to, add too much customization. People are kind of used to Shopify's checkout page, so I generally leave this actually alone, and it does tend to convert better. So that, guys, is basically the entire theme until we come back to actually add in some product images and really get our site, 100% ready to have some sales being generated. And so just for the sake of simplicity, guys, we are actually going to take out all of our different sections except for our featured collection. Just for the sake of this, if you wanted to add your collection list, it's kind of the same process, but we're just going to simplify things just so we make sure that nobody's getting overwhelmed, right? Because the most important part about entrepreneurship and Shopify and Amazon FBA and all different types of e-commerce and making money on the internet is just taking action and getting started. And so we're going to try to remove as many of the barriers to entry as we possibly can and really make this as simple as possible to get started. And so we're going to actually erase all of this. So the subscribe to newsletter section, it is very important, but I'm going to show you a much better way to actually increase the percentage chance that people are going to subscribe to your newsletter in a much, much stronger way for actually a very cheap cost. So we're going to delete this newsletter section here. And I'm going to show you guys one of my little secrets that I've used to really explode the percentage of emails that I actually get for my email signups, which is one of the most important parts of creating a Shopify store, of creating a brand that actually has longevity, is building a customer email list, building a group of actual really devoted customers who love your customer service, who love the products that you're selling, and things like that. And so we're going to talk about how to actually make that pop up. and how to get crazy conversions for that specific pop-up as well. And so we're going to save this. And so now we have a very simple store, but a simple store is not a bad thing at all, guys. It really is actually quite good because you don't want to get overwhelmed, right? Just think about if you're going to the grocery store and you see, 1,000 different choices of cereal. It's much harder than if they had, 2 or 3. And so, you want to make it very simple for your customer to make a purchase. And that is the kind of general theme that we're going to use right now. And so that is the theme, guys. And that, in a very short time, we talked about exactly how to do that for a beginner. We changed our menu structure. We added, free global shipping over $50, which we'll talk about in a moment. And, we took that from ColourPop because they are I actually believe they are the most trafficked Shopify site in the world. And so, you always want to use what these people who have proven successful actually are doing. We like to, if I was going to do it, I would probably copy, as closely as I could to a lot of things they're doing, 20% off, new arrivals, best sellers. And we're going to talk about how to make discount codes. Don't worry. And so let's jump back into the theme here. And so we're going to go back actually into the menu. And now we are going to talk about the actual settings of your store. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come down to settings here. And we're going to walk through we're going to walk through each of these one at a time. So this is our store name. This is, our store address. So you'd want to put, if you had an LLC here, if you don't, you can just put your name for now. Don't worry about it. I always recommend that people don't get bogged down by this type of stuff until they actually start to see some success, right? Because don't worry about all the little tiny logistics of all of the, different legal business names and taxes and stuff until you actually have a viable business. So focus on the important stuff for now, and then we'll move on to that when we actually get there. So standard and formats, this one's kind of important, right? You want to make sure that you use whichever you're accustomed to, whether it's kilograms or, if you're actually in, the USA or something like that, use the one that you feel comfortable with, because when we set up shipping plans, we actually are going to have to talk about, by weight. And so that is all for the general section. It's not too exciting. We're going to go to payments here. So payments is one that's obviously quite important. If you are in the United States or you're in Puerto Rico, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore, or it is not available to U.S. territories except for Puerto Rico. So if you are in one of these locations, then Shopify Payments is by far the best way to kind of do things. But if you're outside of those specific regions, you can set up PayPal. They also have alternative payments, which we go into super detail obviously in the Shopify Ninja Masterclass, but we're going to make the assumption that you are in one of those countries just for the sake of time for this tutorial. And so all we have to do here is just go to complete account setup, and they're going to ask you stuff about your business and stuff like that. If you're an individual, you could put your name and things like that. And so you just have to fill this out, complete the account setup. Obviously, you want to make sure your banking information is correct. And it's very important to have your statement descriptor be your store name. So you don't want people to make a purchase on your store, forget they made it, and then they're checking their credit card statement and they see something that they don't recognize, and then they dispute it. Because the number one thing that you don't want to have happen, guys, is get disputes on credit cards from your customers, because Shopify Payments will shut you down, and it's a really annoying situation to deal with that. And so that is how we do our payments here. And so let's move on to the next section. This is our checkout. So this is an incredibly important part, actually. I feel very strongly about this, that accounts should be disabled. Nobody wants to make an account on a Shopify store unless it's like a huge store like ColourPop or something like that, potentially, where you have like rewards and teams of people kind of looking after people. So what I always very, very, very strongly recommend here is to do accounts are disabled, which means that customers will only be able to check out as guests. It just removes one step of friction for the buying process, and it's going to increase your conversions, I promise you guys. And so they can check out using either their phone number or email. I prefer to have customers can only check out using email, just because you deal with country codes and things like that when you are shipping to kind of the big 4 countries on Shopify, obviously, or not obviously, but which are the UK, the United States, Australia, and Canada. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to require first and last name. So this is very important, because how I prefer to do Shopify and what I've made the most money by far doing is actually using the dropshipping method. And it just makes things a lot easier when you are actually fulfilling orders on AliExpress, which we will talk about very briefly, which is kind of the website that we do order all of the products from, that we do ship to our customers. They handle all of the shipping for us, and it's really a beautiful process. But we want to make sure that we choose require first and last name here. Company name, you can have hidden. Address, you can have optional. Shipping address, phone number, you can hide. Use the shipping address as the billing address by default. Yeah, this is fine. Enable address autocomplete. It's fine. This is a very, very important one, guys. Ask for permission to send promotional emails to customers from your store. We want to change this to by default, customer agrees to receive promotional emails. This means that if somebody purchases from you, you can actually send them emails, have them added to your email list, and really just be able to email them, which is super important. You occasionally might have somebody who thinks it's spammy or unsubscribes, but that's completely okay, because a lot of people actually will enjoy the discounts and promos and things that you're running to actually generate more business later on. So we're not going to automatically fulfill. We'll leave this as the default. After an order has been fulfilled and paid, automatically archive the order. That's fine. Checkout page is English, obviously. Refund policy. What we can do here, which is fun, is we can go to generate sample refund policy. We do want to make sure that we have all these Google and all of the indexing and Search Console, and if you're running any paid ads from Facebook and Google, all of their terms of service require you to have a refund policy, a privacy policy, and a terms of service. And so we're going to generate a sample refund policy here. And what we do want to make sure we do, excuse me, if later on we change this, maybe to support@golfsamurai.com, it just looks much more professional when you're doing customer service and things like that. And it's kind of a complicated process setting up a support@ domain email, which we talk about in obviously the Ninja Masterclass. But for right now, I just wanted to point that out as something that you do want to change later on. And so we're going to generate our sample privacy policy. Again, we'd have to do the same thing here, where we go and find our actual email address in this one and change it. And we're going to generate our sample terms of service. Again, we'd have to change the email if we did want that more professional support at. So we're going to save this. So settings are saved, and let's hop back to the next setting. We're going to do shipping last, just because it's kind of the most complicated. And I just want to super quickly go over these. So taxes, I would suggest kind of leaving as the default here. Depending on where you are, Shopify will kind of populate what it thinks is best. Again, don't get bogged down here, guys. Get a profitable store going, get things working before you worry about all the little stuff. Not that taxes are little stuff, right? But it's just one more reason to kind of get stuck up, and you don't want to let yourself get stuck. You want to keep moving forward, and you want to actually get this working. So we're gonna go to notifications here. And in the notifications, so these are kind of the customer notifications that Shopify sends automatically. And so if we want, we can come in and edit these. Again, we can come in and edit these. These become a little bit more complicated when you actually do integrate the automated service called Oberlo, which we're going to briefly talk about. And it becomes a little bit complicated if you're using apps like Receiptful and things like that to kind of automatically generate promo codes as a receipt, which is a great way to drive a ton more traffic. If you guys are interested in, me making a video of all the best apps that I've used to, just literally completely change my Shopify business, I'd be happy to do that. So if you guys want to hear, about all of the apps, a lot of them are not even very well known apps that I've found and tested myself. I can go over exactly, which apps I use and exactly how I use them. If you guys are interested in that, just leave a comment below letting me know that you do want to see the video on which Shopify apps are really going to change your business, and I'd be happy to make that for you guys. So these are the customer notifications. For right now, since we're not going to talk about apps particularly often, we're just going to ignore this, but these do become very important when we do talk about abandoned checkout, Protector Plus, and Receiptful and things like that. I think it's called Conversio actually right now. And so we're going to go back to settings. Files, sales channels, and accounts. If you want to, manage your accounts and permissions, if you want to view your billing stuff, sales channels, if you want to link your Shopify store to Amazon, you can. But I, in all my personal businesses, I like to keep Amazon separate, and I like to keep Shopify separate, and just do the dropshipping model with Shopify and do Amazon FBA with Amazon. So I don't use MCF or multi-channel fulfillment here with Shopify anymore, just because, I just prefer to keep them separate. I've never found significant success fulfilling with Amazon on a Shopify store. They're just mutually more successful if you keep them separate. So let's talk about shipping. Shipping is where most people get kind of messed up. It's probably the most complicated, just setting in the settings for Shopify, but we're going to make it extremely simple. So the shipping from address actually does not matter in the model that I like to teach, which is drop shipping, which means that you're, the company creating your goods, whether it's like a golf club or maybe it's a golf polo, actually ships it directly from where they're creating it in China to your customers. So this means how this works, guys, is when you have a sale, let's say you're selling a polo for $19.95. So if you sell it for $19.95, then we're gonna go to AliExpress, we're gonna find men's polo, and we are going to actually purchase it for $11.38 a piece, and maybe we'd sell it for $49.95 since polos would be slightly more expensive. So the beauty of drop shipping is we only purchase inventory after we have a higher sale. And so I think a lot of you guys probably have heard of drop shipping, and you realize how exciting the business model is because it takes no money to get started. You have no inventory costs, no overhead, no type of the front-loaded capital requirements that most, if not pretty much all businesses have. And so we'd make the sale for $49.95, and only then we'd purchase from our supplier for $11.83, and we'd make the difference between those prices after the e-packet shipping fees. And we talk in detail about all of this, guys. So if you've never heard about any of this, I'd be happy to make a video about how to find manufacturers, what to look for, some of the kind of secret ways that I use to find the best manufacturers, get the best prices, and get the fastest shipping. But this video is just about how to set up your actual store. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually delete all of this. So depending on where you are, we're going to go into zones and rates, and we are going to just delete this zone. And so we're going to delete this, and we are going to actually set it up from scratch. So we're going to go to add a shipping zone. And again, don't worry about this because our supplier is going to be shipping straight to our customer. And what we're going to do here, guys, is we're just going to add the big four. And I know that we said free global shipping in our announcement bar. And if you prefer to change it to say, free global shipping to most countries, then feel free to do that. But 99.9% of your sales are going to come from the USA, Canada, UK, and Australia. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to United, or we're going to say big four free shipping over 50. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to add countries, and we're going to go to United States. We're going to add Australia. We're going to add the United Kingdom, and we're going to add Canada. So now that we have our big four here, what we're going to do is we're going to do a price-based rate. So we said that if somebody has a cart value of $50, meaning that they bought, 5 $10 products from you, or they bought 2 $25 products from you, or they bought 1 $50 product from you, as long as their cart, the total amount of their purchase is larger than $50, we are going to give them free shipping. So we're going to call this free global shipping. And again, if you prefer to put free shipping to United States, Australia, Canada, and United Kingdom, feel free. So we're going to go to done here. So this means that as long as their minimum order price is $50 or more, we're going to give them free shipping. And we're going to go to done. And so once we do this, right, we're going to focus all of our advertising on these 4 countries. We're going to focus all of our efforts on these 4 countries, and we're going to actually save this now. And so what we can do, if you guys want to kind of create like a catch-all situation, you could create another shipping plan just for the rest of the world and charge some ridiculous amount for shipping, meaning that if somebody tried to purchase from you from like Kazakhstan or something like that, then they'd probably end up not actually purchasing from you just because the shipping was so expensive. That's something that I've done in the past, but guys, for 99.999% of cases, these are going to be the countries that actually purchase from you, and so that is what we're going to worry about. All of the other little stuff I do cover obviously in depth in the Shopify Ninja Masterclass, and I'd be happy to make a video on it on YouTube for those of you who are interested when I have time. And so we're going to come back into shipping, and now we are set up, guys. And so this means that if they actually have over $50 to the big countries, they're going to pay 0 in shipping. And then the last thing that we need to do is we need to add an actual case if they have less than $50. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add a rate, and we're going to minimum order price is 0, and maximum order price is $49.95. And so what we're going to call this one is standard shipping. And so what we're going to do here, guys, and this is actually a little trick that I actually like to use in my own Shopify stores, is you really want to incentivize people to purchase larger cart values. People hate paying shipping. Amazon has made people absolutely despise shipping, and so any type of shipping cost, people are going to not at all want to pay, and they'll avoid that by purchasing a minimum of $50 from your store. And if you have larger cart sizes, you have higher profits, and everything is just a lot more delicious and fun, and that's what we want, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually charge $10.95 for shipping. And I know that seems high, guys, but you want to make it so people think, oh, well, if I buy $40 worth of stuff, then I'm already gonna have to pay $11 of shipping, and so I might as well just buy $50 worth of stuff and save that $10.95 immediately. And so we choose $10.95 here because it's above 10, right? If you use $9.95, people might potentially pay it, but most people are not going to pay $10.95. And so depending on what your shipping model is, this is what we like to use for our over $50 in cart value free shipping model. If you prefer to have like a free plus shipping, meaning the cost of the product is zero and the only pay for shipping and handling, that is another very popular way to get people to actually click on your ads, come to your store, really to get your pixel some data and things like that. I'd be happy to talk about free plus shipping. It's a model that we've made a ton of money using as well. It's a very viable model. Free plus shipping is one of the best ways to kind of initially get people to come to your store, which is the hardest part, guys. Getting that first sale is the hardest part of this whole process. Once you get that first sale and build some confidence, everything starts to get so much easier. And so we're going to add that, and now we have $0 to $49.99, and we have 50 and up. So we have all the main use cases kind of applied here, and we are going to just focus on these big four and these two shipping for now. Obviously, there are a little bit more advanced shipping models that we do discuss in detail in the Shopify Ninja Masterclass. And so that is shipping for everyone. So those are kind of the major things that you want to talk about from a shipping perspective, which is one of the biggest causes of confusion for people when they actually are setting up their store. All right, and so that is kind of all the logistical stuff, right? The boring stuff that you kind of just want to get right so you don't make any mistakes. Now let's talk about adding products, some of the fun stuff. And so what we're going to do here, and this is not a product research video, I do have one on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested in checking it out, is we're going to come over to AliExpress. Best selling is fun to go through, but we're, again, not going to talk about product research. Even though I love product research, I'm going to force myself not to talk about it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to type golf. I like to organize by orders just so you can see what people are actually buying. It's just a fun little way to kind of take a lot of the guesswork out of choosing products that are going to sell. And obviously there's a lot more to it, but we are going to just add a few of these. And so the best and easiest way to actually go about adding these guys is a Chrome extension called Oberlo. So if we come in here and we all I did was Google search Oberlo Chrome extension, and we're going to go to add to Chrome here. And I removed it just so I can actually add it from scratch for you guys. And so then what we need to do is we need to come into our store here and go to apps. And we're going to visit the Shopify App Store. We're going to go to Oberlo. Click on it and press get. And they make it pretty easy here. We're going to install the app. And now we see our app.oberlo.com dashboard, which is pretty cool. Find and add your first product. And so we're not going to actually find products via Oberlo. What we are going to do is actually use AliExpress. So Oberlo created their own store or their own kind of product research method, but it's not what I prefer. And so now we see the Oberlo is actually connected. And now we see when we actually reload this page, is we see this little icon right here. And so what this does, guys, so let's say that we want to add the Grooving Tool Golf Club Sharpener to our store. We press this button and it says product imported successfully. Let's say that we want to add maybe this one, and let's say that we want to add this one right here. So now we have those three products. So we're going to go to open import list. And now we see those three products that we chose. Or maybe I didn't actually click the button for the second one. So 1, 2, oh, 3. Okay, cool. 1, 2, 3. So these are all here now, and we're going to go to push all products to shop. We're going to go to yes. Your import list is empty. And now what we do is we go into our Shopify store here and we go to products, And Oberlo has made this so easy for us, guys. It's unbelievable. We can see the inventory that the supplier has, right? And if they have a ton of inventory, normally it means that it's selling really well. It automatically imported all of the images, all of the text, everything directly from AliExpress. Obviously, we'd want to make this more kind of attuned to the human eye, and so we'd call this, golf club. We'd call it, premium golf club grooving sharpener. Perfect gift for dads or something like that. Maybe if it was, around Father's Day or something like that. We're not going to talk too much about how to write copy. Obviously, there's a bunch of really advanced, fun ways to kind of look at who's doing it the best, who has the best golf or whatever your niche is, stores out there who are killing it and making a ton of money, and then just really kind of using what they're doing and adding your own little creative twist and adding your own kind of feel to it and your own experience and your own voice, right? And so we're not going to talk a ton about actually writing copy in this specific tutorial. I just want to actually be able to get it up live. So these are all the different colors excuse me, that they have available, which is good because it allows the customer to, maybe they want a purple one or maybe they want a white one. And it's so easy, you guys. It's just unbelievable. Having to add all of these different variations yourself would take, hours or longer. And, the Oberlo app imports it all completely for free, all of the different variants, all of the different SKUs. You don't have to hold any inventory yourself. You don't have to hold any type of SKUs or doing any of the fulfillment or any of it, right? It just makes it so easy. So I think a lot of you guys are probably getting excited watching this specific tutorial. I know I did when I first discovered drop shipping. And so why is the price here listed at $562? And so that is probably a good question. And let's go over exactly why that is. So we're back in the Oberlo dashboard. And if we go into settings here, what we'll see is I believe they call it global pricing structure or something like that. And so what Oberlo does by default is when you actually download it, it will apply what's called a global pricing structure to your product imports. And what this means, if this actually ever decides to load, is it will by default apply these rules to every product that you actually import. And so this means that since this costs $2.81, what we actually pay ourselves, not what the customer pays. So we pay $2.81 plus shipping, and we can talk about how to find the e-packet shipping rates. It says it right here, 207. So 281 plus 207 for e-packet shipping. And so what Oberlo by default does is it multiplies the product cost by 2. And so this is too low. This means, like, if you're paying $2 on AliExpress, then your pricing structure would automatically be $4. Since this product is $2.81, obviously $2.81 multiplied by 2 is $5.61. And so we'd want to come in here and actually change and edit all of these SKU pricing structures ourselves, just to make sure that they were exactly what we wanted. The compare at price is always really important, so we'd maybe put $19.97 as our sale price, and our compare at price maybe we'd put $39.95. Say hi to Siri. And so this is actually going to show the crossed out price here and our sale price. And then we are going to save. And so we want to actually do these manual. Once you kind of get better at things, you can add pricing structure differentials, like if you wanted it to be multiplied by 5. But generally, a 2 times multiplier is a little bit too low when you actually take into account the cost for e-packet shipping. And e-packet shipping basically means that it ships out in, I believe, 12 to 20 days. It's the fastest form of drop shipping available. And I always recommend e-packet shipping because it's going to save you a bunch of time and money and effort actually communicating where products are to your customers and things like that. And so you always want it to have e-packet available, which we do see for all of these, which is another reason that the golf niche is so interesting. And so that is how you actually add a product. So now if we want to actually put these products into our collection, what we're going to do is we're going to come back to online store, and we're going to go into customize. And we're going to go into our main section here, which is the featured collection. And we do see our product import automatically into the featured collection here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to into the featured collection, and we're going to actually go to none, and we're going to go to add collection, and we're going to call this one featured collection 1. And so at creating collections is quite easy. You can apply, different tags to, like, if you, let's say you have a men's polo line, and every new men's polo, you just quickly add the men's polo tag to it when you're importing the product, and it'll automatically come into these collections. It's a little bit complicated at first, but I promise you guys it's not that particularly complicated. I'm not going to go into it super in depth here. We're just going to call this, the best golf accessories for the modern golfer. And we are going to manually select the products here. And we're going to go to Save Collection. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually just grab 1, 2, 3 of the products that we actually put in, sort by best selling. And if we want to add a collection image here, we can. If we want to actually edit the website's SEO, we can. And so now this one has been created successfully. And if we reload this page, we're going to reload it since we didn't really do anything that interesting anyway. We're going to reload this page, and we're going to go to Featured Collection, and we're going to add the collection we just made, which is Featured Collection 1. And voila. Now we have our featured collection here. And then one of the things that I don't like is this gray box. And so since we have a white background here, what we're going to do is we are going to actually come in here, excuse me, and we're going to go to General Settings, and we are going to go to Colors, and we're going to go to Product Background, and we're going to change it to white. And so now it looks much, much better. Obviously, we'd have to change, the titles here to be more SEO friendly. But guys, we just created a fully functional store where people can actually literally come in here and purchase these products. They can add to cart. All the cart functionality is figured out. All of the payment information once you set up Shopify payments is figured out, right? Everything is figured out once you set the pricing, once you kind of set it up just exactly how I showed you in the product section. And so now we have a fully functional store, and all we have to do is just go to remove password. But so the one last thing that I did want to talk about, I did say that I was going to set up the newsletter. We're not going to talk about all the different apps I use right now because this is just a tutorial on how to get started. But what we're going to do is we're going to add one more app, and this app is actually called Spin a Sale. So Spin a Sale is a very fun little app that basically it pops up an actual wheel that prompts people to enter their email address for a coupon. And so once we install this app here, we can use the basic, pro, or premium. Just to demonstrate it right now, I'm just going to choose this middle one. And so we are going to grab this here. I'm going to fill out my payment information really quick and move on to the next screen. All right, guys, so now we are in the Spin a Sale dashboard here. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to Show on Website. And I just want to preview it just really quickly just to show you guys kind of what it looks like. So this would be what we would see as a user of our site. And it says win a special prize. Enter your email below to spin the wheel for a chance to win. And so what this would do is once we set it up, we could say like 30% out on checkout, 20% out on checkout, 10% out on checkout. And people love gambling. People love the lottery. People love winning things. And if they win a 30% off coupon, or it feels like they do, you get their email and you get a much higher percentage that they're actually going to purchase from you because they feel like they won something. And so that is a beautifully easy way to actually get people to give you their email and also increase the likelihood that they're going to check out on your store. So we're going to go to Show on Website here, and then where we actually create our title text. And I'm not going to go into all of this right now because I do have some really detailed tutorials on exactly how to set these up as well. But pretty much what we would do is we would just come in, we'd add 30% off coupon, like today only. And then you generate a coupon code in the Shopify app, and you do that just right here in discount codes. So if you wanted to create like a discount right here, you literally just say, 30% off, percentage off, 30, applies to the entire order, effective date right now. And then we just go to generate code. We'd grab this discount code, come into Spin a Sale setup, and we'd just literally put this discount code here. And we want the probability to be, lower as the percentage goes up, obviously. So we talk about that really in depth in the Shopify Ninja Masterclass, but we're not going to go into that super in detail right now because I just want to keep this very, very targeted for you guys. And so integration, obviously we'd want to integrate with Shopify and MailChimp. So MailChimp is what's known as a autoresponder, and it's incredibly important, guys. It gives you a completely free service up to 2,000 subscribers. You can set up autoresponder campaigns so that, if people actually abandon their cart, but they're about to purchase, but something happened, maybe they got a phone call, maybe their dog peed on the carpet, or whatever it is, and then they stopped. They almost bought, but they didn't. And so it's so important to have abandoned cart sequences. And so we could talk about that and, this really interesting abandoned cart sequence that I actually did set up that was giving me a ridiculous conversion rate, which I'd be, happy to talk about in a video or in the Shopify Facebook group that we do have. And so we do want to integrate with MailChimp. We can integrate with Shopify as well. And we're going to save here. We would have to set up our integration, and the instructions are right here on how to do that. And so now we're totally set up. If we go to settings here, we can just confirm that we want it to show on website, and then we'd go to save. And so that is it, guys. Now our changes have been saved. All we'd have to do is integrate MailChimp and set up the MailChimp app, and then we would have a fully functional, beautifully set up website, free global shipping. All of our shipping plans are set up. All of our products are imported with pictures, HD pictures, all of the titles and prices we'd have to change, but I showed you exactly how to do that. We added our social media, we added our announcement bar. All we would have to do, the final step, is going to be setting up these menus, which we are going to do right now. So we're going to come back into our main settings here. We're going to go to online store. So we would want to save our discount code that we did set up. And so we're going to go to online store, and that discount code was I was just showing how to create one for the spin a sale. And so we are going to go to navigation, and we're going to go to main menu here. And so now what we're going to do is we're just going to link both of these shops to our actual collection we made. Obviously, if you had a different collection that you set up for your best sellers, you could just go into collections and choose it there after you create that collection. And so we're just going to go to collections, and we're going to choose the one that we set up. We're going to apply the changes, and we're going to have both of these linked to the collection that we set up, just because we don't have to show it again in this tutorial. It's really about just getting a Shopify site live. And so we're going to save the menu here. And now what we see is, if we go to our store, if we click on shop, it takes us to our collection. If we click on bestsellers, it takes us to our collection. All the links are functional. Everything is officially working except for this shop now button. And so what we would do is we would come into themes, and we'd go to customize, and we would come into our slideshow, slide, and the slide link. We're going to go into collections and featured collections. And obviously, you can make these different. You can create as many collections as you want with a ton of different products. All you have to do is follow the exact same steps that we taught you on how to create a collection and how to import products into that collection. They make it super easy, guys, to create collections. All we do is go into products, collections, create collection, and we can make as many as we want, and we can link any of those different buttons to anything that we want, guys. And if you haven't already, ninjas, make sure you click that subscribe button. And if you want to be up to date on all of the new That Lifestyle Ninja videos on how to make money online, click those notification bells. And I want you to do one last thing. Go down below and leave a comment saying I subscribe, so I know that you guys are all in on making money on the internet. So I hope that was helpful, guys. If you want a ton more information on everything Shopify, make sure that you join our absolutely free Shopify Ninjas Facebook group, which will be linked in the description, and join our completely free Shopify Ninja mini course, where we are going to go over a ton of stuff about how to find the best products, how to find the best suppliers, and how to find products that are just going to absolutely work for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and we will see you on the next one.